So in front of me here I have 5 knives that I've really enjoyed carrying in 2018. This isn't a list of my most carried knives, just simply knives that I have really enjoyed carrying this year. Of course, the first knife that I'm going to mention is my most carried knife of probably all time and my favorite knife I own, and that is the Case Sod Buster, my blue-handled Sod Buster in the True Sharp stainless steel. If you follow me on Instagram or you have been following my YouTube channel for any amount of time, you already know that this is like my favorite knife. And to be honest, I don't really understand why. I think it has to do with the fact that I have some sort of sentimental attachment to it. But anyway, this knife usually resides in my back pocket, and then I usually carry another knife in my front pocket, usually something that locks, just because it's kind of nice to have a locking blade sometimes as opposed to just a slip joint like this knife is. Of course, you can't open this one-handed, which is definitely a drawback of this knife. And really the only real drawback that I care about, the steel isn't of course going to hold an edge forever. Its case is True Sharp, so I mean it holds an edge decently well, not amazing or anything. Um, it's more than good. It's more than good enough for what I need it for. But anyway, so this is my favorite knife, and I always enjoy carrying this knife. So that's kind of a no-brainer there. Another knife on this list is the Ontario Rat 1. Um, I got this knife back in like June, I think. No, I got it before June. I think I got it in like April or May or something. I don't really remember. It was before June though. And this one I got at Walmart for it was under $30. This one has green plastic handles on it. I don't think it's G10. I think it's just some sort of plastic. I have a leather lanyard on here just because I found out that when you have a pocket clip knife in your pocket, let me put away this blade so I don't stab myself like I did on this finger. Actually, I cut myself really badly with my case trapper, but that's not the point of this video. But anyway, so when you have this sit in your pocket like this, that much taken out, if you have gloves on or something in the winter, you have to kind of pinch down and grab it like that. Whereas if you have the lanyard, you can just kind of grab the lanyard and pull the knife out. So that is a much easier way to just get your knife out of your pocket, especially in the winter time when you have gloves on or you have a jacket on and it's kind of harder to get into your pocket. So anyway, so that is the Ontario Rat 1. It's got all-state steel. It's made in Taiwan. They also make a D2 version, which I think is like $45 or something like that on Amazon. Eventually, I want to get one of them. But for right now, I just have the all-state version, and I like it. It works very well. Next knife here is a knife that I wasn't actually expecting to like all that much, and that is my little Opinel number 8. This knife is super usable. It is a good design. I enjoy it a lot. Something just about the simplicity of it is kind of cool. It's a wooden handle. It's got a little stainless steel rotating like locking collar here that locks your blade, which I think is kind of cool. And then it's a carbon steel blade, so the blade will rust if you don't take care of it, and it like develops kind of like a patina over time. It'll stain and darken and stuff, which I personally think is cool, but if you're not into that kind of stuff, they do make a stainless steel version of the knife, although I prefer the carbon one. This knife cost me $15, and you can get them on Amazon for cheaper than that. I think for around $15 you can actually get one of these on Amazon with a little leather pocket slip sheath type thing. The only thing I've done to this knife is I drilled a hole through the wooden handle, which is very easy to do when the knife is made out of completely wood. The hole's all crooked and stuff. It doesn't really matter because the only reason I drilled the hole was so that I could put this lanyard on it so that this sits down in my pocket and I can just easily pull it out with the lanyard. But yeah, really enjoy carrying this knife. Ironically, I really, for some reason, like carrying this knife when it's raining out. And the one drawback of this knife is that it's wood. So the wood swells when it gets wet and the knife becomes very challenging to open. but for whatever reason, I really like to carry it when it's raining out. So I don't understand that. I don't know. I'm just an odd person. But yeah, really like the Opinel number 8. If you want to try out a new knife, $15, go buy an Opinel. My friend has an Opinel 10, which is bigger. The bigger the number, the bigger the knife is. You get the Opinel 13. It's like a foot long blade. I want one. It's like $100 though, so it's kind of like, I don't know if it's worth it, but it would be cool. Opinel number 8 is like pretty much perfect for just an everyday carry knife, in my personal opinion. Maybe a number 9, which is a little bit bigger. I think the number 10 is just a little too big for most people. And speaking of a little bit too big for most people, my next favorite knife is the Spyderco Resilience, which is one of my most popular knife reviews right now. Um, it features a 4.5-inch blade. Um, yeah, it's a very large folding pocket knife. And you do not need a knife this big. But for whatever reason, I just enjoy the ridiculousness of how large this knife is. The blade is 8CR13 MOV, so it's not going to hold an edge forever. You know, whatever. It's just like the rest of these knives, you have to sharpen it. I have no issue with that. I have ceramic sticks. I even have a cheap sharpening stone that I got from Walmart. So, you know, if you know how to sharpen a knife, the fact that this knife doesn't hold an edge forever doesn't really bother me. You know, every couple of days, you just kind of run it over your ceramic sticks to touch up the edge and everything, and it's fine again. This knife is very smooth. Let's try that again. It's very easy to flick open with your thumb. It's a lot easier if you don't have an injured index finger to do everything with this knife. Um, yeah, again, I have a little lanyard on this to, you know, same reason as the Rat 1. It's easier to pull out of your pocket when you have gloves on and stuff. Um, but anyway, this is a black G10 handle scale, stainless steel liners. It's a liner lock. The Rat 1's a liner lock too. I don't think I mentioned that. You guys already know that. But yeah, so I'm not very good at this when I have a fucked up index finger. Anyway, so Spyderco Resilience, another one of the knives that I've really enjoyed carrying this year. And then this knife, which is the knife I've had for the shortest amount of time, and the last knife I reviewed, the Kbar Dozier, or Dozier, or Dozier. I don't know if the guy was French. If the guy was French, it's probably the Dozier. I'm an American, so it's the Dozier. But anyway, the Kbar Dozier is a affordable knife. It cost me $18 off Amazon. It's a lockback design. The lock's right here, you know, like a more traditional locking design. The blade is, again, AUS 8, just like the Ontario Rat 1. It will hold an edge reasonably long, or reasonably well enough, as far as I'm concerned. You will have to sharpen it. That's part of life. You know, it's a nice little drop point blade. I wish it was a full flat grind, but it's not. I like full flat grinds. I found that out over the years. But you know, it seems to cut fruit like apples and stuff reasonably well, so it's not really that big of a deal to me. This knife is very lightweight. It weighs around 2.3 ounces, or you know, something like that, 2.2 something. I don't know. My scale said 2.3, so that's what I'm going with. The pocket clip is reversible to left or right hand tip up. Yeah, again, lanyard, easier to pull out of pocket in winter. This one is the blue Zytail handle. They also come in various other colors like pink. There's a zombie green one, but that one has a black coated blade and I wasn't feeling that. They also have a tan and a olive drab, which again are black coated blades, and I don't really like that much. They have a black one, a black handled one, which I think is the satin blade. The pink one, which is a satin blade. I wish they made the green with a satin blade, but I went with the blue because I thought it was a nice color. It's not quite Blade HQ Ben Blue, but it's close. You know, it's a little bit lighter than Ben Blue. So yeah, but overall, it's a very sturdy knife. It doesn't feel cheaply made. You know, it doesn't have any liners, but it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. It doesn't feel like a toy. The blade is somewhere around 3 inches. it's just a very usable EDC knife, and for most people, this is probably just about the perfect EDC knife for most people. But yeah, it's no case Sod Buster, in my personal opinion, but I like it anyway. So those are my 5 knives that I've gotten the most enjoyment out of carrying this year. That's pretty much going to be all for this video, and I hope you guys have a good day.